Okay, everybody. So this is the supplemental video for Chapter 1. For this one, I didn't spend long enough on the B-side that I'm going to cut it up too much. Um, we'll see. There's some parts of it which are quite embarrassing. I end up doing the same thing time and time again, but I only missed one strawberry, so I'm going to go back and get it. You can see strawberries you've already gotten are that kind of ghostly blue color. Yep, here it is. This is another one of those you can't dash strawberries. You actually can dash, it just flies upward, so you have to be, like, above it when you dash. And then you can still get the strawberry. Like, you can dash into the strawberry, it takes a second or whatever. You don't have to complete the level to finish out the strawberries or anything like that. You just grab them and then quit. So, 27 deaths for a level is not bad at all. Now, check out this sweet remix. Okay, B-sides, as I've said, are really just like masterclasses. The thing you're supposed to be getting here is if you see a long series of jumps like that, and there are any walls at all that don't have spikes on them, what they want you to do is grab the walls and use those to, propel yourself forward. The other nice thing to know is that single-length tiles like that, you can easily jump over them and grab onto the other side. Now, here, what they want you to do is grab it so it goes up, go up the other side, and I guess you're not supposed to grab dash there, is basically the lesson. Like, you have to have your dash intact to make it up that final bit. And as you see, like, you're really using up a lot of your grip strength, even in this early part here. So, you have to have your dash intact, I'm pretty sure anyway, in order to make it up that final bit. And so you want to be using some wall jumping. I'm not getting that. I think I was still trying to handle it using any time you can use a dash. That just doesn't trivialize the section, but it just makes it so much easier. I'm leaving in these early deaths just to show that I hadn't done this B-side since the very first time I beat it, which was, that's many levels ago. So I don't have in my head exactly how to do this. You're kind of seeing, my intuitive thought process. And so you see, even though I was red flashing and, basically out of dash at that point, or basically out of grip, I could still do as much wall jumps as I wanted, basically. Any of these small spike things you can jump over, so I'm going to have to do that. They make you waste your dash really early on here, so that you're doing different stuff for the rest of it. Not too bad at all. This first B-side is, I die a lot compared to the main game, but, for a B-side, this really isn't that bad. I don't know if you can tell exactly. Okay, that is a viewing camera, one of those ones you might find at a scenic overlook or something like that, and it's meant to show you what the rest of the level is like. I just don't feel like this early level, or this early stage, is, big or broad enough to really merit that. It can save you deaths if you plan everything out beforehand, but some levels, or some stages, some screens, I guess I should say, are giant and really require that kind of thing. So obviously the trick here is you have to save up enough of your grip strength that you can make it over to that diamond. And here you can see, I know that this is the case. I'm running out of grip strength way earlier than I would in some of the other screens. All I'm doing is climbing up that short ridge and then, gripping onto those little tiny, one-ticket ledges a little bit as I'm jumping. So, and even then I was still kind of about to run out. But, whatever. So it goes. Now, this is, I don't know, there's kind of an inconsistency in difficulty I find in the B-sides. I know it just sounds like sour grapes, basically, but what they want you to do here is, you jump up onto this thing, it rockets over, and the trampoline hits you. You then have to grab onto the right-hand ledge, jump up over the top of the spikes. You can't really dash diagonal up, because that takes too long. You have to dash straight to the right. So you jump up, grab, hop, dash to the right. Then you fall down and you'll just barely catch the edge of that platform there. You then have to duck, because that will take you under that second ledge. And then you ride the little conveyor cart so that you get under that tunnel that goes up through the middle. Once you're in the tunnel, you can wall jump, hold yourself onto a good position, and because you landed on the floor, which is to say on the central platform there, you'll have your dash back, so you can jump up and over that right-hand thing. You can see I'm just dying a ton in here. What I mean by inconsistent difficulty is this is a very precise and very quick style of trick that they want you to do here. Like, it really, I tried this a bunch, and, you know, part of it is you have to have the movements down pretty much exactly. There's not hardly any leeway in time. The other hard thing is you have to mash yourself basically as far to the right as you can go to avoid the spikes that are directly underneath that arrow down. But if you mash right too early, you'll hit the spikes on the right. You can see me doing that a lot. This is one area now. See, I get under it, but I didn't position myself. I was so excited to be in that tunnel. I just did it too early, and now I mess up on dumb stuff. That's going to be something you'll see over and over. And like I said, I didn't die quite enough, I feel like, for me to you know, merit cutting that out. Although that was getting close, and I might cut out some of the deaths from a later stage in here. But precision is indeed something I struggle with. Now, this is deceptively hard, because in order to get over this first spike bit, you do have to like do a diagonal right or an up, diagonal upright dash. You can't do just a straight up one, because then you won't have the left to right movement to get over that first bit. But it's pretty precise. You have to do the dash basically right at the very top of the arc from the trampoline, or else you won't get enough height to make it there. Okay. There we go. And I, for some reason, wasn't getting... And again, here, they don't want you to be flying through the air too much. They want you to be gripping to the sides. So, a lot of these, it almost feels kind of like playing a Kaizo game. I don't know if anybody's had any experience with that, but, like, you really kind of have to learn it stage by stage. Things change up quite a bit. They do one thing which is nice, which is everything that's in the main, like, whatever the focus of the main stage is, and every level in Celeste is going to have a different set of challenges, and set of, like, see, I used the dash when I'm supposed to use the dash, set of, like, either things which help you get around, or which make it harder to get around, or, like, unique things in each level. They kind of have themes. So the theme of this first bit is probably going to be, like, the falling ice blocks, and then the motorized, you know, red light, green light, whatever those things, the moving platforms like that. Like, you're not going to see... You'll see moving platforms, but not quite of this style again. There'll be other ones in different levels, and these are actually pretty mundane, because at this point, you know, we're just climbing a mountain. I mean, it's a big scary mountain, and there's a crazy lady out front, but that's about as wild as it gets. Look, like, I don't know. I mean, I was running out of grip strength, but I used it for a while. Okay, this is the part that I'm probably going to cut out a little bit of just after a minute here, because you'll see exactly what makes it hard. For this one, you gotta jump, grip, jump over the ice block, land on the collapsing thing to get your jump back. Okay, you ride this up, you have to grip onto that thing for just a fraction of a second so that it rockets down. You have to then jump off of it, grab onto the left-hand wall, slide down, and then the only other tricky part is once you're down on the right-hand side of the level, you have to get up so you can climb up and then, you know, wall jump out of here. But first off, you can't use your dash, because you have to use your dash to get up there, so you can't blow your dash early. And when you're down on the bottom right part there, you can't dash diagonal up, because, you know, the right-hand wall is full of spikes. You have to get, you know, in the middle of that upwards tunnel to the right, and then dash up, and then go left and grab. It's a tricky set of moves, is basically what I'm getting at. And especially tricky for me, for whatever reason, is gripping onto that right-hand traffic light machine box, whatever. I always seem to grab the spikes. Like, I get like a couple pixels too far and grab those. And I'll be honest, I just sit here and kind of do what you're seeing right now for probably the next, like, 5 minutes. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys when I finally get it. Hey, how about that? I got it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It wasn't 5 minutes, it was like maybe another 2 minutes, but, you know. I didn't have 2 minutes of material while I tried and failed the exact same jump for 2 minutes in a row. That doesn't sound like a long time. I mean, you try to do, like, one simple task over and over for 2 minutes. This one isn't so bad. You just have to use your dash exactly where you use it, and you have to know here that replenishing your air dash also replenishes your grip strength. It's just one of those little like sub mechanics, and there's a lot of those to get everything in the course of the game they don't exactly tell you about. I guarantee you that stage in particular gave me a ton of trouble when I played it through the first time, and there I just cleared it like second or third try, something like that. You never know what's gonna give you trouble, and then I don't know, like what's down to learning the level, and then what's down to just having basic like jumper and Celeste skills. I'm actually not big, like I said, on platformers. This is, I think, the first hardcore. No, I played like N way back in the day, that ninja game where you got to jump around and collect gold, and there's robots and blasters and stuff like that. I generally don't like them, but this game is just so charming, and like it absolutely won me over. Even the story's good, as we'll go into later. And a little Ultra Challenge never exactly hurt anybody. Now, this is another bit that I spent kind of a long time on here, but it's a little bit more interesting to watch. See, here, it's just, again, like, it's been a while, so I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to do it. The nice thing is, I feel, generally speaking, once you figure out how a level is meant to be played, and the timing for the jumps and the stuff like that, it doesn't take you too long after that to get it. Now, that is not true in some of the later levels, and I'm definitely going to be cutting some, especially out of like the B-sides in those later levels, because I'm telling you, basically what happens is you figure out how to do it, and then, from my skill level anyway, you just do it 20 times until the one time you basically get, your inputs are all exactly, pixel perfect to where they're supposed to be. So here we see the basic setup. You ride over to the right, fly up, ride the second traffic light box all the way over to the right. As soon as it starts to go back, I jump onto the breakable block. I go down, ride this back up, get the replenishment for my super jump, for my air dash, and then from there it's just some easy peasy. It's just doing it at this point. You can tell that it's kind of precise to get the speed boost from those. Yeah, it's annoying when you miss something that you should have gotten after you do the hard part of the level, I will say that. It's nice to... It can be kind of precise getting the speed boost from the jump at the very end of these things, but you can always tell that you do because you get those little... I don't know, I guess they're just supposed to be like air compression circle, cones or whatever. You can... It's a nice little visual cue. There's visual cues for almost everything in the game, and audio cues as well. As I say, one of the things that makes the punishing precision and difficulty of this really palatable is everything is designed, like, you're given all of the tools that you need. Very rarely does it feel like the game's fault if you die. Like, it's almost always yours. That one exception to that is, again, as I've already complained about twice, and I'm sure this will come up more in the course of the LP, those few situations where it feels like this room arbitrarily doesn't have enough grip strength, like it fades so fast. I don't know, those they just feel odd to me. Anyway, there we go, and that is the second B-side, ladies and gentlemen. Well, almost, I say. I say that. You have to go through one more of these little switching block things, and they're on just a consistent beat. So they're not... By the time you get to these, it's not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not as hard as the other levels were. Just like the blue heart in the main level, you gotta dash into them. So I'll do that, and then I will catch you next time. That was everything from Stage 1 on Celeste. See you guys later.